suicide rates, domestic violence, I mean, everything just going off the charts because that's not the best way. That's not the best way for people to be together, to be, again, a mother, father, children, confined, isolated from others, being together. You know, it's like this hothouse experiment where everybody's going crazy because it's not the proper design. Okay. I'm a father at 68 years old with a 5-year-old daughter, and to see her raised by a multi-generational community is beautiful, beautiful. We have a volunteer coming in from Canada in a day or so. She'll be with us for a month, and in the future there'll be many, many, many more young people once the travel restrictions are eased up. Get back to our volunteer community that we have, in addition to our retired adults. And so there's this natural evolution that is calling to us to say, open your minds. You know, again, it's going to take a great awakening for many people to see beyond the limitations of the nuclear family or the church or the government or these structures that we assume are true. It's like, you know, children going to school, sitting in a classroom. It's like these things that we developed, you know, just in recent times. It's only been, what, 150 years, more or less, since any children went to school. It was never that way. People in the past, children would always be at home, you know, in the palace, in the monastery, in the whatever, with the community, being mentored, being taught. The whole thing with school pretty much was this capitalist idea that, oh, so the parents can both be working, children need to be shipped off to school so they could be babysat by the school all day while the adults worked. Well, none of that's going to exist in the future. There's no adults going off to work in the future. There's no children going off to school in the future. The whole system will be completely different. And you can imagine it, and it's a beautiful thing to imagine. Here's this beautiful community of people, whether it's 50 or 500 or 5,000, in a community where everything is done together in that community. The raising of the food, the raising of the children. You know, no one's working jobs for money to buy things. Nobody owns things. Everything is shared collectively. It's a perfect utopian system that's always existed. There's always been the possibility of that. It's just that people got distracted by other things. You know, materialism, you know, really became the biggest enemy of human happiness because people would just give their whole lives over to earning money to buy things to seemingly improve their lifetimes. And all of it was a big experiment, kind of a bad joke. Didn't really work at all. Didn't really bring any more happiness to our world. I mean, and we pretty much see the world as it is today at the, you know, the peak of that whole development. And it's like this Monopoly game that just ended badly, unless you're one of the few trillionaires that had a lot of fun accumulating everything. But for everybody else, where's the fun in that? It wasn't fun, and all the stress, all the drug addiction, alcoholism, all the things that went along with this materialist dream. It didn't work. People were unhappy, and so they turned to a lot of bad behaviors and just got absorbed into television and just living a life very much devoid from the juicy beauty of life. You know, Zach Bush talked about that, about people just becoming totally disconnected from the biome. You know, our program of education, for example, you know, to some degree models Maria Montessori, and she's very, very clear. It was her philosophy that children learn best simply by being outside in nature, playing, using their faculties to learn, to practice, and that's how, again, children 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago, always learned by being out in nature, out playing. You know, eventually that play might start taking the form of you know, working with the family, growing food, raising animals, doing whatever, but being very much a part of the biome, being in the elements, in the dirt, with the water. It's like, people that know me know I've shared for a long time that I have a chop wood, carry water form of spirituality. And to me, that's essentially the beauty of life, is in that, being connected to the elements, working with nature, enjoying nature, playing in nature. So this will be part of the Great Reset, you know, the Great Awakening, remembering what is beautiful and focusing on that. And most people would choose that if they didn't have this crazy idea, oh, no, I need to get in a car and go to some big building and sit in an office and do work to earn money, to buy things and whatever. La, 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 la. Okay, so you get it. Everybody gets it. That game is over. There's no going back to that game. It's no longer interesting. People might still be doing it for a while, but it's not interesting to go to a Walmart, or nowadays more likely go online and go to Amazon's, you know, glittering online vast inventory of stuff. Oh, let's buy some stuff. It's no longer going to be interesting or fun to do that. I mean, it never was. It's just people convinced themselves, they were conditioned by marketing that, yeah, buying stuff is fun. It's not fun. Remember the whole OASIS experience. OASIS, oneness arising from stillness, inspiring simplicity. Simplicity. For me, you might notice, I wear the same exact clothes every day. I'm not sure this t-shirt might only last for another 6 months, but this jacket I've had for 10 years, I'm sure, well, 8. It's just like, why wouldn't you wear the same clothes every day? What's so interesting about different outfits? I mean, all of that is just this egoic, crazy notion, like, oh, it's think to any spiritual community, any of the monastic traditions. Always they would just have a simple outfit, a robe or whatever that everybody would wear. It's like, what's the whole point in looking different? What's the point? There's no real point. You know, again, if you're getting your deep enjoyment from a primary existence, living in the richness of nature and the beauty of nature, that's where the beauty is. You don't need to pretend we're disconnected from nature. So, oh, I have to have beautiful clothes, all the different colors and all that. It's like, why? It's just, again, it's this crazy idea. It never existed before. It's a very modern idea that people would do that. So, great reset, great awakening, great changes, you know, and again, to some people, what I describe might seem like a version of hell, but I would offer that what we see now in most of the world is hell. Okay, so the heaven that I'm proposing is a radical departure from the existing hell. So this, again, this is the dynamic we're going to be in for the next decade, where heaven and hell are being presented as clear options. Well, what do you choose? You know, again, we were conditioned to choose hell. That was the conditioning that would have us choose that, actively choose a hellish nightmare as a way of living, totally disconnected from nature, stressed out, working endless hours to make money for what? That is hell. Heaven is the opposite of that. It's like life is for enjoyment. To enjoy, to be at play in the fields of the Lord. That's literally what heaven and our, again, our responsibility as awakened humans is to manifest fully that heaven on earth. So that's what I'm doing day by day, inviting you to join me wherever you are in the world. Doesn't have to be here in Ecuador. We'll have these little pockets of heaven all around the world, and then offering, communicating, offering that as an alternative to those we know. There's a way to live that is beautiful, that doesn't require any money. It doesn't require a whole lot of work. Everybody contributing their creativity as they would in a joyful expression. That's our happy dance, is to be creative. And so, for me, part of my creativity is growing food. My tomato crop is coming into full ripeness up in the greenhouse. That's a happy thing. That's a fun thing to do, to grow food, to raise some animals, and to enjoy. Chop wood, carry water. Namaste. I love you.